Okay, so now we're going on to the sleeve, what we have been waiting for since. So you can see that I've drawn a horizontal straight line, perpendicular line, horizontal line, a line, straight line, right on my paper. And then my first measurement is the measurement between the underarm and the notch. So I'm taking this measurement 2.6 centimeters, right? So I'm going to create another line 2.6 centimeters above this 2.6 cm. One 2.6 there. So I'm going to draw that line, right? And I'm going to mark it there. Now I'm going to take my front armhole, and from the point that is notched, I think I have to extend this line now. From the notch, I'm going to put the notch at that 2.6 point line and then just copy out the remaining part of the armhole. You can see it there. I'm going to draw it out for you to see it clearly. So you can see that curve. Now, should probably try to zoom this in a little. So that you can see it clear a little more clearly. Good. Then you can remember the measurements that we took. So I'm going to now measure 4.8 centimeters, and then I'm going to measure the back too, but I'm going to add 1 centimeter to the back. So this line. So 4.8. 4.8. So that will be my center shoulder point. So that line is going to will be my shoulder point. Wherever I do will be my shoulder point. So I'm going to measure the back. That's 4.2 plus 1. That's back measurement plus 1. So this is my center front. So this is my back. So this is the back measurement here. This measurement. This measurement here the back measurement plus 1. So I have 4.2 centimeters here plus 1. So I'm going to have 5.2 centimeters. So on that 5.2 centimeters, we're going to do the same thing that we did for the front. We're going to take that and draw out and copy out the remaining armhole. There. So that's what we do. And because we don't want this place to be flat, we have to create a curve that is equal to this measurement. So we're just going to go about 3 centimeters up from the center point and then draw a curve and then measure 3 centimeters up from the center point. And then we're just going to use our curves and draw a curve. I'm going to first of all draw my curves in pencil, measure till I get a nice curve. So you see that? So I'm just going to measure it now. So on one side I should have 5.2, on the other side I should have 4.8. Yep. Lucky me, I have exactly. So we have here here's a little more than, that's 5.8. Okay, so I have exactly what I need. So I'm going to draw out so this point is my front, this point is my back. So the next thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to measure the you're going to have your sleeve length minus 5 centimeters. Sleeve length minus 5 centimeters. So that's what we're going to do. So what we're going to do now is that we're just going to draw perpendicular lines from those points. Just I need to see where that ends right now. Center front. So I'm going to measure my sleeve now. Okay. we now have our drop shoulder sleeve, which we're going to use to modify. This is stage 1 of the sleeve modification, so I'm just going to cut this out and then we'll go to stage 2. I hope this was pretty easy. So you take a large sheet of paper, because now we're going to start adding the fullness to our sleeve. So I'll draw a line down here, and my line will be 2.5 the length of the sleeve. That's my length of the sleeve times 2.5. But it can be any length depending on how full you want your sleeve to be. So it can be less than that. You can just do twice the length of your sleeve, or whatever you want, but it's going to be, mine is going to be the length of my sleeve times 2.5. So I'm just going to get this point here. There, you can see why I'm using a half scale now. That's going to be my end. So we're going to take our sleeve block. We're going to take our sleeve block and cut it down the middle. All the way to the top. And then okay, before I did that, I had already divided my block into 6 different parts. So let me emphasize the lines here so that you can see them clearly. So we're going to cut and open out on these lines. There. So we're going to cut and open out on these lines. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I would have made another one there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. On bigger sleeves, it can be up to 6. So I'm going to cut and open out, and I'm going to be opening each one out 4 centimeters. But you can open your own out 3 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 5 centimeters, depending on. Actually depends on how much volume you want to add, but I'm going to be using 4 centimeters. So you can go 3 centimeters, you can go 4 centimeters, depending on your preference. So what you do is that you're going to place, you can see this line here. I'm going to place the head, the center of the head of my sleeve there, right? And I'm going to open this thing out 3 centimeters. What I like to do to save me time is to get my protractor, right? And already fix the 3 centimeters from my protractor. so that all I do is just to find the distance here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to pick from that point and I'm going to measure 3 centimeters there. And that's what I'm going to keep doing for both sides. Okay, so now that we're done with that, the next thing we're going to do is to trace this out and then connect it to that point. So remember that this is the wrist, so that you're not confused when you want to draw it out. So what we're going to do now is that we're going to take this and connect it there. After doing this, I'm going to smooth it out. You can see that. And I'm going to take this and do the same. I'm going to get my curve now to blend everything. So your shape might look a little different depending on how much space you put here, the size of your sleeve, and so many other things. But that doesn't matter. So you remove this. Now we have to create, for the last stage, we're going to create pleats on the sleeve head. We're creating sleeves on the sleeve head and pleats on the sleeve head. And to do that, we're going to divide the front. Remember, this is the front, this is the back. We're going to divide the front from the notch here into 3. Here we're going to take half of the measurement. So from the notch here, from the notch we have, I'm going to divide 5.2 into 3. So that's 1.4. So I'm going to mark here 1.4, and I'm going to mark 1.5 4 here too, and 1.4. So here I'm going to spread it 8 centimeters. Here I'm going to spread 5 centimeters. Here I'm going to spread 5 centimeters, and here I'm dividing into 2. 6. Here I'm going to spread 8 centimeters. Five, 8. So those points. So normally, as you want to, when you want to create pleats, you have to draw lines. So we're going to draw a line to create our pleats. So I'm drawing my line here to create my pleat. We already have that center line, and here draw my line to create the pleats. So we now create the pleats, meaning that we're going to cut along this line, spread it 8 centimeters, cut along this line, spread it 5 centimeters, cut along this line, spread it 5, here spread it 8 centimeters. So here we go. center of our sleeve. So direction of fold, direction of fold. In here is our pleats. In here is our pleats. And in here is our pleat. So what we're doing now is that we're going to fold our pleat so that we're truing our pleats. So just make sure that all your, yep. Make sure it meets. See that? So that when we fold it, everything aligns, especially when we want to sew it. Great. So that's folding. I have to fold my pleats, and then I will cut it. Have my initial cut, and now I'm glad to say that we are done, finally done with the voluminous sleeve pattern. You see that? So now this is our pattern that we're going to take and cut on fabric. Don't forget to add all your seam allowances. Voila, yours will be much larger than this, but this is a small scale, this is a half scale, so that's what it is. So what you do is that you cut this on fabric. Don't forget your notches. You can see my notches there. Cut this on fabric. This is my back, this is my front, this here is my center, that's my sleeve, the center of my sleeve cap. So voila, the voluminous sleeve conquered. So what we're going to do after that is cut this on fabric. You, depending on the kind of fabric you use, it should be something that has quite some drip, and then, or you can always put organza, line it with organza depending on how much of the stand you want it to have. And then what you do is that you sew these two parts together. That's your underarm seam, right? These two parts here together, your underarm seam. Well, before you do that, you make your pleats and stay it, fold them, just machine it, sew it down so that it will stay in place, and then sew the underarm, then you gather all this into a band. You also have to remember that you need to create a band, a sleeve band that you're going to put everything inside. You will see that in the sewing and joining stage. Yes, so after this is done, we're going to cut it in fabric, our main pattern, our main big pattern, not this one, the full size pattern, and then we'll see the sewing. So see you then.